もし他の誰かがこのノートを拾ったとして、この世に不必要な人間を消すことのできる奴がいるか？いるわけがない。でも僕にならできる。いや、僕にしかできないんだ。やろう、デスノートで世の中を変えてやる。
The hell? Yeah. Alright. Let's, and you go.
まずは地球の掃除と思って凶悪犯の名前を書き続けた。
It's really easy to say that a movie is bad, but honestly, a movie can be bad for a variety of reasons. In this video, I'm going to be talking about the different reasons a person can think a movie is bad and how we can differentiate them. And to do that, I'm going to be using these three houses as an example. Here we have three houses that are bad in a variety of ways, but we're going to start with the first one here, this dilapidated looking thing. This is the most recognizably bad house because it doesn't have the structure a house needs. Movies can be the same way. If a movie is lacking decent production value, it's going to be a rather crappy looking movie. Same with the plot. If your story is badly paced, has nonsensical logic, or has terribly written characters, it's going to be able to support itself about as well as Amber Heard in a couple of months. If you ever tried to write a story yourself, your first attempt is probably as well constructed as this house. After all, building a house with no house building experience isn't easy. But it's also for this reason that this is probably the rarest kind of bad movie you're gonna find. Professional house builders won't build a house like this one, and professional movie makers usually won't make a movie like this one. If I were to name some examples though, it would be The Room, Birdemic, and Star Wars Episode 9. It is possible for a movie to still be enjoyable even if it is badly written, in much the same way you can grow to love the tattered old home you grew up in. Hell, even with these three movies, two of them are somewhat enjoyable to watch. Not this one though. Let's move on to our next bad house. Some of you might be saying, what's wrong with it? And the answer is really nothing. It's a perfectly functional house. But it's also one of the least interesting houses you will find. There are plenty of structurally sound movies that people will call bad because they do nothing to stand out or be interesting. I think the MCU is probably the most popular example of this. Few of those movies are structurally bad, but they can definitely feel rather samey. While I think most people can agree that a movie like, say, Ant-Man is not the worst movie ever, it's also not likely to be someone's favorite. Now let's move on to the third bad house, this gaudy monstrosity. Most of you guys are probably looking at this and thinking, what the hell were they thinking? But I wouldn't be surprised if there was at least one person looking at this house and going, wait, what? This is my dream house. Now this house runs into the exact opposite problem the previous one did. It's too unique and interesting, and that makes it really polarizing. Niche movies are a lot like this, where if you like it, you really like it, and if you hate it, you really hate it. When I rank something low because it isn't for me, this is why. And honestly, there's nothing wrong with liking or hating this one. It's a perfectly functional house. I have nothing against houses like these because at the end of the day, the person who built it and the person who bought it probably love it, and that's good enough. Though I'm sure their neighbors are less than happy about that lemon house next door. Now there is actually one final kind of bad house that I want to talk about, and it's this one here. This grand mansion you're looking at. And you're probably looking at it pretty confused. Well, this is by all accounts an incredible house. The problem here is that this is also Vladimir Putin's house, and he is a not so great dude. In this metaphor, the people living inside the house are the soul of it, much like how a message or theme is the soul of a movie. It's possible that a movie is well structured and universally appealing, but it has a not so great theme or message within it. Honestly, this is the hardest kind of bad movie to pick out because, like The Mansion, it seems perfectly fine at first. I'm going to use Passengers as an example. Starring America's favorite Italian actor, this movie is saying that Stockholm Syndrome is a good idea sometimes. Another example, and my personal favorite punching bag, Corpse Bride, is weird. What the hell is the point of this movie? That necrophilia is fine? If you accidentally propose to someone, you have to marry them? Seriously, if anyone in the comments can tell me what's going on with this one, I would really appreciate it. So yeah, 4 different kinds of bad movies. Maybe instead of calling a movie bad, we could use some other words to clear up the confusion. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. This one was a lot of fun to make. Feel free to watch any of my other videos. They are better than The Corpse Bride, I promise.